Welcome back to another MLB The Show 18 video with Sports Gamers Online. I am Casual Gamer, and a link to my channel will be below in the description. So before we talk about the best ways to pitch, we first need to go over the settings. And right now I'm in practice mode. If you guys did not know, on the main screen there is a practice mode where you can get better at the game, hitting, pitching, whatever, fielding, base running, whatever you need to work on, it's there. So the first thing I want to talk about is this pitching interface. There is Pulse, Meter, Classic, and Pure Analog. Pulse is very hard to time in my opinion, and Meter is easier, but I think it leaves too much up to the computer of where the pitch will be put. So for those reasons, you want to be using Pure Analog for sure. The next thing you want to be using is most likely the strike zone camera. You can use another camera, whatever works best for you, but I find it easier to hit the corners if you're using the strike zone camera. As far as your pitching ball marker, I believe it starts on like pitch trail on or something like that. You want to change it to classic on because it shows you the amount of break that is on your pitches, as opposed to the other one, which is just like blue or red. I don't honestly understand how that even works. It doesn't make sense to me, and this is much more helpful than that indicator. So the first thing I want to talk about is the energy and confidence. As those increase or decrease, so as your energy decreases, your opponent's PCI will become larger. As your confidence increases, it will become smaller, or if it decreases, their PCI will become larger. Now, your confidence goes up based on how successful you are executing pitches. So if you throw a strike, your confidence in that pitch will go up, and when you're playing online and outside of, or just outside of practice mode, I believe, you do get like a circle indicator of how confident your pitcher is for every pitch. Now this year, fastballs are not nearly as effective as they have been in years past. I know that they've said that they have fixed it, but in online play they still feel like they're coming in very slow, so I would not recommend throwing fastballs against people online too much, because they will eventually just hit a home run easily and you'll be very frustrated. That means you want to mix in more off-speed stuff, as well as like cutters. Anything with that's fast with movement is okay. It's just because the pitch is so, it takes so long to get there and it has absolutely no movement, it is incredibly easy to hit. When the new patch came out, I went out and tested to see if the pitch speed was any different, and it did not appear to be that different to me. Maybe I'm crazy and maybe it really is a significant difference, but I was not able to notice that much of a difference. So when you're first starting out the game, you want to make sure, if you're playing online, that you figure out if your guy is just swinging at everything or if he's a disciplined hitter. So if he is just swinging everything out of the zone and everything, don't give him strikes. There's no reason to throw a person strikes if they're going to swing at balls. If they're very disciplined and they are just like that, they're taking borderline pitches, or things that are pretty close, then you may want to throw more strikes. My strategy is always to throw more strikes, so I get caught up sometimes in giving people that can't hit strikes when I should just be throwing it out of the zone. Now let's talk about how you actually pitch with pure analog pitching. You're going to pull down on the right stick until you hit this yellow line, and then you try and aim it into the circle. As you can see, I missed that spot, and as your confidence goes up, that yellow line becomes larger. So when you start off, it is smaller, but because the confidence is maxed out right now, you can see that the yellow line is much larger. Now against the computer, you can get away with being more repetitive in your pitch selection, but still, if you're playing on one of the harder difficulties, they will catch on pretty quickly and be able to knock you out of the park. You want to be switching up your pitches, and a big part of that is the pitch speed differential in the pitches that you're choosing. So you don't want to just throw slider, changeup if they're around the same speed, because then they still know the timing of it while they may not know the placement of the pitch. You also don't want to get stuck in these patterns of throwing fastball, slider, change, fastball, slider, change, or fastball, change, whatever it is. You want to be mixing it up enough and the locations up enough that they can't be sitting on a spot or on a pitch and be able to take it out of the ballpark. You can also use this pure analog pitching to move your pitches if you accidentally make a mistake. Let's say I put it up and right down the middle right here. I can aim it towards that corner, you see, and I didn't even put the ball there, but I physically moved it with my analog stick, and it ended up at that portion of the plate, which can be very useful if you're grinding against the computer and you're trying to do it very quickly and you realize, oh crap, I left it in the wrong spot, let me fix that. So against the computer on some of the easier difficulties, pitching is not much of an issue, but once you get to Hall of Fame or Legend, you really have to be concerned with where your pitches are going and keeping them to the corners or the edges of the strike zone so that you do not give them too much chance to hit it out of the park, because it is so easy for the computer on Legend to take a high pitch and just absolutely destroy it, regardless of the person's power, regardless of your confidence and energy. It just will happen. Now there's some basic strategy that I'd like to mention real quick, which is, let's say you're in the bottom of the 9th inning and there's less than 2 outs and they got a triple or they're on third base somehow, and you know it's a tie game or you're winning by 1. Usually, let's say it's a tie game. So that means that if that runner scores, the game is over no matter what. So you want to walk to get the bases loaded, so you can either have a forced out at the plate or you can turn a double play and end the inning. Since intentional walks don't count towards your pitch count anymore, just like in real life, intentional walks have become that more important, I believe, because they won't impact your pitcher's stamina or their confidence. So that is going to be it for this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Peace.